Welcome, creators and dreamers, to Inside the Dojo Unreal Experiences. I'm your host, Jesse Segal, and today we are stepping beyond the code, beyond the polygons, and straight into the art of the digital soul. This isn't just an episode, it's rather a masterclass in digital human storytelling. We are joined by two of the most respected names in Unreal Engine community, Gabriel Paiva Harwat and Franco Vilanova, Unreal Authorized instructors, animation specialists, and world-class educators who have trained countless creators in real-time character development. Today, they're pulling back the curtain on the MetaHuman pipeline. And trust me, this goes far beyond just sliders and presets. We are talking custom character creation, dynamic wardrobe styling, facial animation, and performance-ready pipelines that bring authenticity to life on screen. So whether you're an animator, filmmaker, game designer, or virtual production artist, get ready to transform your workflow and elevate your characters from mesh to meaning. Let's welcome Gabriel and Franco to the virtual stage.
Hello,
Gabriel,
everybody. Hey, how is everybody doing? Thank you for coming. Really appreciate the support. How is everybody doing? Hello, Franco.
amazing. Hi, Franco.
Howdy, partner. How's it going?
Very well.
Amazing. Great to see both of you, the power duo, if that's the right way to
Thank you.
put it. You're all over YouTube, and thank you so much for coming back to Inside the Dojo. I can never get enough. I'm always prepared to go back to the grassroots and learn again. So, with that,
Okay.
the stage is all yours. What are you going to take us through today?
All right. So we have like a little short time today. We just have like 1 hour. So I had something easy in mind anyways. So I think it's gonna fit the theme today. What I'm after really is to create metahumans from something that is not tangible. Like nowadays, we have like many tools and options to actually go out and do some photogrammetry. You can scan yourself, or you can actually use um, the MetaHuman Animator app with an iPhone, and you're gonna be creating like a digital twin, right, of yourself. But what if what you want to create is not like real? What if it's something like some artist is giving you in some sort of a sketch or character sheet or something like that, and you need to actually create a metahuman out of it? So I started trying to find ways to do it the most automatic way possible, and I failed miserable at it. So I'm going to be retelling the tale of what I tried, what didn't work, and how I end up doing it. Which, surprisingly enough, is going to be like what have we been doing like for far long ago, but this time with metahumans and trying to stay in the engine, trying to use things on top of it if needed, but actually using the new metahuman creator inside Unreal Engine 5.6. So the first thing that I tried was I was all right, that apparently is working for everybody else. So good. So let's continue. So this is the thing. Like I tried. Nope. Here we go. So I tried first to actually do something like what Epic was doing with the MetaHuman Animator app, with the FaceLink app, and I failed miserably. Like what I tried to do was like, what was so special about what was exported from the iPhone? So I tried to replicate it using DaVinci Resolve. Like I actually got a footage and I extracted a depth map out of it, and I then moved it to Natron, and I tried to actually color correct it and grade it. So it was kind of like the one that Epic uses. And the actual final result was not, it was horrible. But the good thing is that I could actually full Unreal, but this is the actual result. So as you can see, it was not something that you might want to go with, right? So needless to say is that what I was set to actually do, like actually work, like everything that you see here, the actual MetaHuman performance. No, this is the character, the footage captured data. Like everything here is exactly the same as what get exported when you do it from an iPhone and the LiveLink app. But everything here was actually produced by a normal footage, right? So my guesses about why this didn't work is it has a lot to do with the actual how new cameras work. I think if I actually do like a test with a DSLR, it might get like better results. The thing is that with new phones, the cameras actually do like bunch of processing to the footage, and it actually break, the image before you actually get and extract a good depth out of it. So it was not a great test. But so far you can actually see that the actual facial features were like really, really, on point. And you can actually go anywhere on your footage and you can extract, you can promote any frame and you can see that it will track everything like really, really good. So as far as that point, it really worked. But in the actual, when you want to actually create a MetaHuman is where everything, goes really, really south. So that being said, I didn't continue that way because it was like getting really boring because you need to actually jump into Neutron, then you need to, export the things and test it inside Unreal Engine. So I was like, all right, let's try to find something that is a little bit more down to earth. So remember, the actual goal is to actually create a MetaHuman out of a picture, right? Not out of a person. So I actually have, let's do this. Let's actually create like a new folder here. Let's call it new image. Let's open it up. And let's go here. So I got some AI test here, like with different. It's supposed to be the same person, and you have like a frontal and a couple of sides and 3/4 and stuff like that. So that is what we're after, right? We can actually bring them on into Unreal. We might not get like full use of them inside Unreal, but at least this frontal one might do good. So let me bring at least one inside the engine, and let's go. It was this one, all right? Let's bring it in. That's it. So the next thing is, all right, I want to have like the best start out of these. So what I want to do is something like very cheaty that Franco actually taught me. Let me show you what he actually went through. So the first thing that you're going to need is like a cube. Any cube will do. I wonder if even this cube will do. You're going to have to actually save it. You know what? Let's actually do the thing properly. Let's go to modeling tools and then create like any cube, a box, put it there, accept. And what we're going to do with these is the next. So we're going to grab this image and we're going to drop it in. And this is what's going to happen, right? We're going to have like the same face everywhere. What is really necessary is for the actual shape to be completely close and airtight. So it needs to be like welded on all corners, and that is going to be it. So I think that we're going to have to actually assign that material that we just created in the actual the static mesh editor. Let's close it, save it, and this is all right. Now what we could do is we can create a MetaHuman, right? So let's start by jumping right into it. So identity. There we go.
So the image that you have selected was created using AI. So it could be
it is a generic. Let's not,
or whatever that was given to us by an artist.
Yeah, it could actually be like an artist, right? That is giving you like some sketch of some creature or somebody that is not living. It could be like a zombie. It could be whatever, right? You're not gonna be like going and bury out people, to actually make a zombie. You need to actually find some artist to create it. So this is it. So we're going to be creating components from mesh. Oh, and I need to actually rename that mesh in some sort of ways. So I'm going to be I actually use one that call it cheat, because really what we're doing is actually cheating. So let me actually put these. Let's call it character, cube character, cube. It's going to be fine. So let's actually come here, create component. Let's go from mesh. Let's search for a cube. We're going to be 1,000 cubes, but the one that we want is this. So once this is here, and we're waiting, here we go. So this is the only thing that we need. We need an airtight, a watertight shape with a picture of for a character. And this will actually give us like a good head start. So let's go promote the frame. So here we go. And now we can track the markers. And we wait just a bit, and that is done. And we can actually process the MetaHuman from here. Believe it or not, the thing processed, like we were in a live, and actually Franco suggested this to me. Like I was like, no way, this is going to work. This thing actually works. You'll actually get a good MetaHuman out of it. So this is what we get. So you can see that everything from the shape of the eyes, the actual nose in MetaHuman's identity are always a little bit longer for some reason, but the actual lips are like in the perfect position. I think it has something to do with the fact that the MetaHuman shape, it's a little bit, chin down, and these particular reference, it's very frontal and with like a 55 or 80, it's really flat. So that's why we might not get like the actual length, but you can see that the edge of the face is like really, really covered. So this is great. You have like a good head start with these. So the next thing is to actually do the rigging. So let's actually let Unreal Engine create a MetaHuman out of it. And that is going to be the base of what we're going to keep on improving with MetaHuman Creator. So far you can see that we're actually making good progress, right? Now we have some sort of base for our MetaHuman. It kind of looks like the model. So it's what we really want. Let me save this, close it. And now what we want is to create a MetaHuman. So it's actually come to MetaHumans, and it's, which one was it? New image. Here we go. Let's save everything. But the actual empty map, it's just there to provide a little bit of light and color. And now we create an actual MetaHuman. So let's go MetaHuman character, and let's actually get in. We should actually name stuff, but we are in a hurry. And here we go. And come on, MetaHuman, you can do it. And here we go. So this is it. All right, wait, Unreal Engine still thinking about it. Oh, the red thing of that. This is horrible. Every time I get this, there's no way I can. Let me see if I, by any chance, can open back this up without having to restart Unreal Engine. Like it's having a lot of memory issues, this particular version. No, it's going to be these. So once we have these, it's all right. We can restart Unreal while we talk about other things really fast. But what I wanted to do like really fast is that you can go to the head and you can go to conform. This is going to be a little bit slow because of these hideous thing. Get it together, epic. And let's go with template. And let's go here with what we just created. That is new MetaHuman. Oh, no, it's not this one. Let me actually get it from here. SK, new MetaHuman stuff. And we can add it here. And now we can do this. It's going to look weird because it's going to be like the face of a model in the body of a big man, but it's all right. We're going to continue from here because now that we have her here, we can actually start improving her facial features and all that, right? We don't know anything about the body, but this is good enough. So let's actually close this and jump to the next thing that didn't work. And that was the actual, this, I'm just going to be flying through this thing. I just want to throw a little bit of crap in Epic's way. I know that this is experimental, but, it's actually a big issue. it might be so good. So let's go to the media viewer. The media viewer is this new, is this new window here that will allow you to perform on top onion skins, kind of referencing and actually checking out things on top of things. It's really easy to actually use. You open your library, and from here you should get like tons of different inputs from which you can actually compare. But so far, the only thing that you actually do is the viewport, right? So this may actually crash because this thing is really, really crashy. So as soon as you try to do this, it crashes, right? Yeah, it crashed. It's all right. So let's send and restart, and let's talk about the next part of this. So we're going to have to end up doing something like this. So I was actually in the research for this thing, figuring out how people actually do like digital humans, right? And this is one of the most common ways, and that is to use something like Blender Face Builder, which is not for free, but you can actually get it for free for a couple of hours or days. And it actually involves having like a MetaHuman creator with something that provides a bit of reference. And that was what I was trying to do with this stupid thing called the media viewer. How did I actually use it without crashing it? Was it? So I didn't double click and it crashed, right? Yeah, it did crash again. It's all right. How did I actually open it up? I can't remember. So the thing is that it should actually provide you with different viewports. And I was thinking about actually using it to put like in one side, the actual MetaHuman creator viewport, and in the other one, like a picture, right? Because that is how you would, do the actual MetaHuman creation. On this side, you can actually load up like an actual, like this is what it does, right? So imagine that on this side, you actually have, and imagine that this thing actually worked, but it kind of won't work for some reason. So you have like your viewport A on this side, and it could be your viewport or any viewport, but this thing is broken, don't use it. So I was like, damn it, I need to have some sort of way of referencing something on top of my MetaHuman creator. And I actually thought of PureRef. And it's really, really easy to use. You don't need to have like too much savviness into actually operating it. It's for free. You can get it like at any point, and it's going to be there for you. And now what you want is, get your references, right? So let's drop two. We have these, and we have, let's go with maybe this one. That is a little bit, like this. So how to actually use it? So it employs a little bit of some keystrokes that you might want to, remember. The first one is going to be if you type left and right, you can actually swap from one reference to the next. And if you have two, it's really good because you can continue just pressing one button and the thing actually works. The next thing is to actually make it see-through, right? Because you really want to know what is behind it. So that is really easy. You actually hold Control-Shift and you use your minus key, and you can actually set an actual opacity to it, which is what we want. And then the next one is going to be like, you need to actually be able to press things that are behind it. So you're going to be doing that. Sorry about this. All right. And that is going to be by doing something that is called, first of all, let's actually make sure that in the modes, you need to actually set it always on top. So it's going to be always on top of everything. And the next thing is that you need to press things behind. So you're going to hit Control-T, and that is transparent on mouse. And now you can operate things behind it. And this is how you would create a bit of reference on top. So we should, we're going to be Control-Shift minus. Yeah, oh, sorry. So you can see that the actual reference is kind of on point, right? The actual frontal reference is there. So all you need to do is actually bring, more references and start working with it. If you need to go back to PureRef, you hit Alt-Tab. Oh, let me close this. So you hit Alt-Tab, and now you can go right, left, and you load the next one. And now you can hit again Control T, and now you can keep operating Real Engine. So you can actually match your reference the best you can, and you can keep on improving, right? With the normal tools. So you're going to have to go to your transform, and you want to make sure, that the leaves are in place. Sorry, I misclicked right there. So one thing that I would dearly ask Epic to actually do is to give us in these viewport bookmarks. So you can actually have like 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way you can actually see like the face from this side, from the next side, up, down, and you can actually match them with what you have in PureRef, and it's going to be a lot easier to actually do this thing. So you might want to spend a little bit of time, improving your stuff like this until you get something, that you really, really like. And I'm not going to be boring you with this thing, but yeah, this is kind of what I had in mind. There is only one last thing that I want to talk, but you know what? I was going to, because we're at the 30-minute time, and I don't want to.
You have an
too
hour,
much.
Gabe. Each of us has 1 hour. So
I thought that it was like 1 hour for both.
no, it's 1 hour per, right? Yeah.
Oh, all right. No,
Yeah.
then,
So take your time.
then we're good. Let's actually
You can never get
do a
enough
little bit more
of what
work.
you guys have to show us.
All right. Not to worry. So let's just do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we're going to be jumping right out of this. So if you want to go back to PureRef, now we're here, and now you can simply hit Control Q, and you can actually discard it. There are a couple of other things from PureRef that are really, really good. Like you might want to use something instead of always have it in the mode of on top off. You can actually do something like instead of always on top, you can actually set it on top off, and you can actually click on Unreal. Let me do this. If we go to images, and where is it? Give me just a second. Overlay. All right, that is good. So now there are like 2 separate images. So overlay, it's also really good because overlay would actually let you with like 2 separate pictures with no background, nothing behind it. And that way you can actually set up, you're not going to have the easiness of, doing the left and right. I think that is a little bit easy. But in this case, you can actually do this. So to use the on top of, it's really, really cool because again, if you click on top of the image, it's going to bring you the actual menu from PureRef. So now you want to go mode and on top of, and you click on Real. And what is good about it is that now if you close Unreal, the actual, not even Unreal, the actual window from the MetaHuman creator is the one that is holding the references, which I think is really, really amazing that you can do that. Because now you can work with Unreal Engine as you want. And if you want to go back to, improving your MetaHuman, you're going to have so these images, reference images, are on top of these. So this is what the actual media viewer should do instead of crashing a couple of times every time you try to do something with it. But yeah, this thing is great. So I want to let you on these so you can actually create your MetaHumans out of, pictures and stuff like that.
So essentially, when Epic is telling us this is experimental, it's actually not experimental. It is broken.
Yeah, it's experimental, bordering the. Yeah, if you click something and it crashes every time, I don't know how experimental that is. Experiment crash. All right, so I'm going to be closing this card. This is good. So let's say that you have like a beautiful MetaHuman, but you need like a body and the breast. So let's talk a little bit about this part also. Because you're going to have some issues sometimes with the neck, and some issues with the body, depending on what you want to create and the actual size of the head that you are actually putting in by doing the conform. Well, this time went really, really well, but it's not always the same. Sometimes you get like a tiny head. So the first thing that you can do is you might get errors and stuff with actually using a cube instead of an actual head to produce a MetaHuman. So if you get any kind of weird errors with ears and stuff like that, or you get like issues like this one down below. What you want to do is keep using, things from MetaHumans, right? And you can actually bring in the blend. And let's bring a lady, right? So let's get Celeste. So we can put her here. And now you can say, well, the ears were really, really wrong. I want to actually fix them. You can actually use like an ear from a MetaHuman, right? And you can fix whatever you were working with. The same you're going to be able to do with this weird neck that we have here. You can actually, fix it with other parts. So things are not going to be, they're not going to go in detrimental of the actual look of your MetaHuman, but you want to make it, feminine, and you want to make it, you can actually use these MetaHumans. So, in 5.7, allegedly, we're going to have like more of these presets. Like right now, these are a weird bunch. Let me tell you that. They're not really beautiful people. And I'm not any judge because I'm, horrible, as you can see in my in my feed. But, this is like a weird bunch. I'm just going to leave it at that. Like if you want to create something like a supermodel, it's going to be really hard.
Gabriel, I can tell you, I strongly agree with you. For somebody who specializes in creating and obsessed with creating realistic digital humans, when I saw these, I was like, okay, who created that? There is one question that I do have, and that is, when we are conforming like you did for the head, sometimes the eyes pop out. Or if you're conforming a body as well, so you conform the head, you conform the body, and then the head and neck detaches from the body. Is that something that is because it is currently so experimental, or how can we work around it? My easiest option was to ensure I untick the eyes and just use the MetaHuman eyes.
Mm. Yeah. So in the actual conforming, you're going to start having the worst issues, because it's like Unreal Engine trying to like inflate the thing around the actual mesh. So everybody knows when you do that conforming, the conforming, you may ask like, why take the time? Because we might need to actually explain this part of actually going through the identity and then jumping into MetaHuman. Like, why not actually, come here to head and go to conform and actually go from template and actually set the skeletal mesh here or the static mesh here? Like, it's not a thing. So what you bring here needs to be something that has the same topology as a MetaHuman. Like, you cannot bring in something that is not out of a MetaHuman. That's why you need to actually first produce the actual MetaHuman identity with the base that actually have the MetaHuman topology. And this is what then gets projected with the conform inside in the MetaHuman creator. That's the only reason why you need to do it in 2 steps, right? It is silly because, if you can do it in the MetaHuman identity, I think that many things are going to be changing. One of the reasons why I actually stopped trying to produce the thing with the depth map was that nowadays you can animate a MetaHuman without having to use any kind of depth, right? Like the depth step is out of the animation part. Like you can now animate with either a live camera or even footage, which is, completely amazing. The thing being that now, if you can actually animate, why can you not create like a MetaHuman out of it? So I was like, yeah, maybe this depth stuff is going to be like old news, like very soon. Like it really makes no change, but will not help anybody if you really try to do something with this depth, and then in 5.7 maybe the depth is off. We're not going to use it, or maybe it's going to be like an alternative, right? If you want something that is a little bit more professional, a lot more, I don't know, the actual captures from raw footage are really amazing and good. Like it makes you feel like, why did we need the depth in the first place? But yeah, that's why I actually stopped on that side. So I was like, why then you need like an actual depth to create a MetaHuman? Maybe that is going to also change like really soon. So I would say that this is something that you must do. You must first do the identity to produce an actual head skeletal mesh of a metahuman, and then use that to actually conform inside here. Chances are that even if you follow through the whole thing, you're going to have some sort of deformations. And again, your best bet is going to be like using some metahuman that you created before, or metahumans that you can import. So this is a weird bunch again, but little do you know that you can actually bring in any metahuman from the old bunch, which you're going to find out they're all a little bit better in many ways. So again, if you go to Pixelbridge, which is still the home of the metahuman, oh my god! Of course, I'm not going to be logged in, but I just, or maybe I'm logged in. Metahumans? Oh yeah, look at that. So if you actually try to do this, you're going to get this. This is new. Like you're going to get like, you want to import it. If you import it, it's going to be the worst mistake.
We can't see a screen.
Oh, sorry. I'm very sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Right, here we go. So again, let me just go by it. Here we go. So you are going to want to go to the Pixelbridge, which is still the home of the metahuman, not Fab. And you're going to go to your local metahumans, the one you already have downloaded. And the thing that you need is actually to click the blue button, and then you're going to get this migration action. So you can import them as they were before Unreal Engine 5.6, which is going to bring like the all metahuman body, the all metahuman materials, and all that legacy, materials and assets. But it's horrible because the thing actually uses the same MetaHuman folder as the MetaHuman folders of the new MetaHumans, and you're gonna get like a mixture of errors and things that you're gonna regret. So don't bother using the import part. Go always with migrate. Migrate, what it's gonna do is actually convert this MetaHuman into the new 5.6 MetaHuman, and they're gonna be stored in the same MetaHuman folder. And let me show you that. So now if we go here, and we go here, MetaHuman, we should have a Danielle MetaHuman around here. Maybe she's, yeah, here it is. So it's not going to be a MetaHuman. It's going to be a MetaHuman character creation. So you need to actually double click on it. And now you can actually grab this one and actually produce your MetaHuman out of it. Like my thinking is that as you saw, it didn't took too long to actually produce this MetaHuman in MetaHuman Creator. And that is because my guess, hello, Kano, how are you? Hey, great to see you. The thing is that it's going to be, I think that what it uses is a DNA file. That is what it gets from Bridge. That's why it gets reconstructed inside of MetaHuman Creator like really fast. This thing comes with everything, like the skin, the hair, like everything that you get from the old MetaHumans that you can get from Pixelbridge, you can get them here. The nice thing is that once you have them here, let me just check it out. I think that, let me go, these not here. So I believe that you're going to have to build it. So actually go through and assemble it. So once you assemble it, it's going to be here for you, which is nice. So in the current project, you can actually add more metahumans to this mix. So when you go here to blend, you're going to have more alternative than these ones here, which is great. That is because, yeah, let's say that these are not like really, really good to actually help you in many cases, at least not in this case of, magazine supermodel. So again, what you want to do is actually use these in your advantage and leverage, the many issues that you may have encountered in your MetaHuman. You can actually improve it with an easy way of doing this. So the more MetaHumans that you create on your project, the more, available options you're going to have right here. So that is really, really good. So once you have your MetaHuman ready, let's actually go through it and construct it and everything else, like assemble it. So let's go and do the skin thing, and let's actually go materials. Let's change a little bit these. I was having actual issues with the skin material.
Yeah, the
Where is it?
textures are weird in the new MetaHuman creator.
Yeah, there are not so many as before, and they are
For the
different than
body,
the body material. Like you have a body texture, you can see that it will change from the arm's length down.
and they don't match the neck.
Yeah, yep. And then you should have here the actual one for the face, and I think
Gabriel,
here
is
it is.
there a way to bring our own textures and from Texture XYZ or somewhere that we can add? Because if we don't want to use the normal maps or the wrinkle maps that are provided, because they are very limited.
Well, not in the actual creation.
You actually can, yes, in the creator.
Here you
All the
can.
way to the bottom, you'll see enable overrides, enable texture overrides, and then you can add your own textures.
You can actually add the maps here. Oh, that's really good.
Yep, that's new. I strongly recommend against that because once you do this, these are now baked for your MetaHuman. These are the ones that your MetaHuman is going to export with. I would recommend that you change the textures once the structure of your MetaHuman is assembled and it's outside of MetaHuman Creator. Gives you more versatility. Maybe export the MetaHuman with a base setup of skin, unless you really want to see your textures while you're sculpting and working on your MetaHuman here. But this is a process where you don't get to go back again. You would need to re-export if you want the base skin that comes with MetaHuman Creator.
All right. All right. So that is you would actually apply them to the material, right?
Right. Yeah, the instance once we're out.
All right. So let's add just a silly hair and some let's give it a time because Unreal Engine might have to think about this. Yeah, this is good. And let's go and create a little bit of eyelashes, like short and fine. And I will not add the fuzziness because every time I select a MetaHuman outside, like the actual outline gets selected in the fuzz, and it is like really distracting. So I would not care about these. If it's not going to be like a MetaHuman that you're going to really close up on it, like don't add this thing. And same with the clothes, like that thing is going to be covered by Franco, who is actually breaking the coconut on that one. And let's actually download the 2K textures. That should be fast enough. And let's create joints and rigs only, because the difference between these two is if you want to use the MetaHuman animator with the live link feature from your iPhone as the app, you're going to need the full rig. If you're going to be using the new way of using live link hub to actually use either live camera or footage, you don't need the full rig. The difference is the full rig will come with the morphs for the Apple Face app. And if you're not going to use it, don't add it. Like this will actually save you a little bit of weight into the MetaHuman. A bunch of curves, at least 80 curves, are not going to be added with this, which is great. So now our MetaHuman is here, is cool, and you can play with it. And this is it.
Gabriel, can you just cover that one again? So when we do the create full rig, it puts all the off targets with the Apple AR kit and everything. Instead, you went with the create joint only rig. So it is basically no facial rigging.
No, it does have the facial rigging. The thing is that Unreal Engine uses like an hybrid approach. So I don't know if they really over-engineer that one, because this is the thing. The actual Face app, it's an Apple only. It's an Apple only SDK. And it's a closed box, it's a black box that only Apple can actually use and tweak. But the thing is that if you provide a model with enough morph maps, you can actually animate it live with a particular application, right? That actually uses that SDK. Now, the thing is that the actual MetaHuman don't use that one for actual animation. The actual face board is actually connected to bones. It doesn't use curves. Like those morphs are discarded. They are only used when you are driving the MetaHuman with the live link face, right? But nowadays, it is really not used. It's not really important. Like the results you get from either footage or the live face, the live video feed is way better than what we used to get with the actual Apple face link face. It's not the name. It's the Apple something something face. So you don't need that anymore at all. Like, yeah, don't waste your time actually adding the full rig. Like this one will create all the joints for the face and for the body. And that is going to be A-okay. So now let's actually assemble it. And this should take a little bit of time. So maybe we can take questions or something. Let me go in. It's down here. Sorry about that. And new MetaHuman character. This is going to be an issue. I think I already have one new MetaHuman and I didn't save. So this may crash spectacularly because Unreal Engine doesn't like to actually produce a MetaHuman where another MetaHuman is. So let's see what would happen. So yeah. So the last thing that I wanted to cover is facial animation. The only thing that you need to actually produce, and we're going to be doing it like really, really fast. But I just want to do it, showcase it to you, not because, it's going to be interesting. It's because I want to show a little bit of the mess that we're in. Mostly because of how Epic is naming all the skeletons. Like basically they're using the same name for everything, which is really, really complicated every time you want to actually, manage yourself around, because this is the main issue and the main thing. Now with the new MetaHuman, you're going to have the same MetaHuman folder and the MetaHuman common in it. And you're going to have like your skeletal mesh in it, and you're going to have like a face skeletal mesh, right? For your character. The thing is that there are a bunch of other skeletons that are needed in terms of plugins. For example, if you're using the MetaHuman Creator, it has its own skeleton. And if you're using the MetaHuman Animator, it does have a separate face skeleton mesh, which again, it's like not the best workflow. And I wanted to just go through this. So, I didn't change the body. So it's going to look really, really weird. But yeah, you get what I'm trying to do here. So my guess is that there should be now 2 MetaHumans here. There's only one. So where's the other one? Maybe this is the one that we just exported. Oh, it is. All right. It overrides the other one that I had here. Oh, that's great. Well, at least it didn't crash. So that's always a win. All right. So last thing is, let's come here. So I wanted to actually call it new MH. So it's going to be here. So the next thing that you need to actually animate your character is, first of all, you need to create a MetaHuman performance. So if you go performance, you're going to get this. And let's don't name it so it gets in the actual name scheme. And here it is. So here you need to actually provide a couple of stuff. You need to provide first the footage and then your MetaHuman identity, right? So in this case, we're going to be using the last one. And it's going to be tough because I have 2 exactly the same. Which one is it? Oh, here it is, the new MH. So that's it. So this is the MetaHuman that we can actually use. And then you need to actually load up like a footage here. So the ways that you can actually add those footage into Unreal Engine gets easier and easier. And yeah, this was the other thing that I want to do a little bit of a conversation. So if you go, it might not be here. It might be here. Live link hub. Hub. Oh, it's a tool. Hub. Oh, here it is. So I have a trivia for you before we actually go to Franco. Why do you think that Live Link Hub is a separate program? that is outside of Unreal Engine. So 20 points to whoever got it right. I just actually found out why, and it was hilarious to know. It's already running.
So that
It's
it can work with the capture manager and animation manager, so that
Yeah.
you're not running the editor, but you can run the live link by itself. But you have to open the Unreal Engine in order to launch live link.
Well, it might, be a good thing to have it separately because of that. But the real thing behind it is that you need to have plugins or install plugins into Unreal Engine to get access to things like external hardware support and stuff like that. And guess who can install plugins? Yeah, you got it, UEFN. Because you can't install plugins into UEFN. They actually separated. They ripped LiveLink out of Unreal Engine and put it aside, so you can actually use it for both Unreal Engine and UEFN. UEFN
Wow.
is more
Okay.
and more, actually, in your way. It's like, do you really want to play with me? Come on, let's do a
It's
game.
not Unreal, it's Unreal Engine for Fortnite.
Let's do a game, it says. All right, let's do an island. We're going to make millions. Follow me. All right, so we don't need to actually install any kind of plugin for this thing to actually work. The only thing that you need is actually set these to capture manager. Is not capture manager, is it? Add device, yeah, mono ingest. And from here, you can actually set up whatever video that you want to bring in. It needs to be in in any sort of QuickTime wrapper. I think it works. You're going to add like a name to it and everything is going to be fine. This thing is going to actually...
Just on that, Gabriel, there is a weird bug in the mono video in using in LiveLink. H.265 compression format will crash it, or if it doesn't crash, the data stream is at a higher bitrate. So stick to .H.264 compression format, which is the standard for broadcast or anything else. When MP4s are also in that. So H.265 is the newer compression format. It has higher bitrate. For some reason, that one is not giving the perfect result. In my experimentation, I found out of about 10 times, it worked twice, but the results were not right. But H.264 compression video works perfectly.
Yeah, video compression is always like a can of worms because it really depends on how busy or complex your footage is. So maybe if you do something like with a white screen behind you and it's not very busy, it might work. Maybe if it needs to actually pump up the bit rate, because they are always using like variable bit rate nowadays to save space. Then at some point, maybe Unreal Engine cannot handle, the highest bit rate. So yeah, that is really good to know. So again, once, doing this is really easy. The thing that you're going to get out of it is going to be something that looks like this. So you're going to get like a capture manager folder. And from here on your inputs, you can actually see that you can have like the video imported and you get the audio and you get these. So this is what goes here, right? In the actual footage capture data, well, that is these right here. So you can actually add these there and you get the actual capture on your left. And the only thing that you need to actually do is to process it. Now, there are a couple of things here that you might want to actually play with. I think this is it. It says, to enable this option, set a valid footage capture data property. Oh, maybe it's this. It's set on depth. It should be monocular footage. That's it. And now that we have this, you just process. And because this is an actual very lean H.264, it actually produced like really fast results, like really, really fast. And that's it. You have your video pre-processed. It is really fast and easy. you get this weird normal here, which is, it might have to do with the actual producing of this mesh. But yeah, you get these right here. Now, we're not going to have enough time to actually go through the whole shebang of why this might actually fail. But because I wanted to actually use the neck animation on, your body animation, so that's still not working fully. But the easiest way is to actually disable these, and you're just going to get like the actual facial performance, which is the only thing that Unreal Engine is actually using right now. I have yet to discover like there is a particular switch that enables the neck movement, but every time you use it, like the head will start floating and moving, outside the actual body. So I have yet still to actually figure that out completely, but I think it's going to be possible because there is an actual switch for it in the animation blueprint. But yeah, this is it.
Can you just show one more time what did you click in order to stop the neck movement as well?
Oh, yeah. So there are 3 separate head movement modes. You're going to have the transform neck, which it's really not giving you any sort of neck rotation. Like it's just like a floating head, like attached to a stiff neck.
Yeah.
And then you have the contour brick, and this might be the secret word of the day. Like this might be the actual big issue why this is not working really good. I think like in the near future, if they fix it, it's going to be great because you're going to be able to actually switch between your body performance and your neck performance. Like right now works as they really want to, because they want you to have like the iPhone in front of your thing with your helmet, and they want you to be wearing like a mocap suit. So you're actually getting the face performance with your body motion, right? And when you combine it, it's going to match. It's going to be great. But if you're doing like separate facial performance, you might want to get that neck right into the body performance, because it's going to look a little bit weird because the body might be moving somewhere, and that person is not going to be following you with the head. So it might look a little bit weird and
So
funky.
by putting it on the control rig, then we can extract the neck and head and put it in the body control rig and kind of Frankenstein it that way.
Yeah. Like right now, let's actually go through this. So the next thing that you need to do here is actually export the animation, and you're going to get it ready. Now, let me just jump like really fast. Maybe this is going to be like our next encounter if I actually manage to fix this. So go to MetaHuman Common Face, and here you're going to have like APB, Face Post Process. If you open that up, you can see that this is where the actual face and body animations get together, right? And then you have these. This is for actually head movement, and this is for facial animation. So if I were to like add very fast, it's all right. This is one of those things that I'm angry. The fact that if you actually export your animations that you created from here, it doesn't get into the post-processing skeleton that it's using. So it's a little bit weird right now. Don't you worry. It's horrible, but I'm going to fix it. So yeah, you can see that you get an actual enable head movement thingy that you can actually turn on and off. So maybe in the future, we're going to be able to actually mix your facial performance neck with the body neck. And you get actually like a curve that is called head control switch. And right now it's 0.5. So if you enable it, you're going to get half and half. Like I was able to make it work, but it was iffy, and I was so confused about, again, this project was first created in 5.6 preview, and many things changed with 5.6.0. And I get like 1,000 face skeletal meshes and skeletons and stuff, and I'm really confused about that. So once I get these, I think that if I make this work, it's going to be great. So Because for someone who doesn't have an actual body motion control, I want to have my animations from the body separate from the animations from the face, but I want the animations from my neck, on my performance. If I, this gives you a lot of, uh, um, acting, right? How you move your head and stuff like that while you're talking, and you don't want to lose that. So that is going to be for next time. And that's it. That is where I end, when I finish.
Wow. That was very amazing stuff that you covered. I love the fact that now you can just generate characters with AI, and
Oh.
you can have your metahumans, especially from the perspective of, you want to create your movies, your stories, your episodics. You don't have to waste time trying to use photogrammetry with the reality scan, although it has become a little bit better, and then, try to clean the mesh up and then bring it in. That is just an amazing workflow. I didn't realize that you could do that. So if you create a monster, maybe that's you.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm going to flood the market with metahumans. No, I'm just joking.
Sure thing.
So that's amazing workflow. Like you said, with the head floating and other stuff, those are unique issues that come with Unreal Engine and metahumans in particular. And I think that is something that we have to live with for a while.
Oh, yeah. Yep. For sure.
This is fantastic, Gabriel. Amazing. And of course,
Right.
now with Franco's session of actually making them wear clothes. Now, that is a question that everyone on the planet is asking. And Franco, if I had a gold medal right now to physically give it to you, hey, you are the king of dressing up metahumans.
Oh, I'm muted. There you go. Thank you. Yes. All right. So let's go. Let me share thy screen. I don't have permissions. I'm going to need permissions to share thy screen.
What was I thinking that I did not give you permission? You have
permissions. So entire screen 1. Let me know if you can see screen 1 correctly.
Perfect.
All right. So
look at that face. That's digital Franco.
That looks like me. I wish that I had clear-eyed, clear-colored eyes, but I do not. And I wish I would be blonde, but again, I am not. So Gabe showcased how to create a metahuman and how to get something to this liking, to this state, where we can use it here in Unreal Engine and animate it through either the performance capture that he did with WEF, with the previous video, through the performance, or we can do something in LiveLink here, which is a different kind of LiveLink. It's not LiveLink Hub. It is a different LiveLink. But again, like Gabe said, Epic does enjoy naming everything the same thing, so you get confused even more every single time. This one is just the common LiveLink, virtual production LiveLink. And if we set up a MetaHuman video here, it's going to let me now name something like my camera. I'm going to have to turn off my camera for the conversation so Unreal can take possession of it. And as we connect it and give it a name, extremely important to give it a name. If we connect it without a name, it's not going to work. And if we go into camera and then in the monitor image, we switch it for trackers, for example, we will now see, hopefully, if I can get to, please, no, that's all I get. All right. Somewhere around here, I can get me being tracked. And this is tracking me through my glasses too. And you can see how the tracking on the eyes is actually mind-blowing. This is very, very good. You can see how the mouth is also moving. And keep in mind that this is with a low-end webcam, and it is with a pretty bad lighting setup. And I'm like 7 miles away from the camera. And even Unreal here is saying in the state, hey, subject is too far from the camera, so it wants me to be a bit closer. Now, with this setup, and I'm going to leave it up so you can see it live at the same time, we can now, it's insane. The tracking is just insane. It's this good with the quality of camera that I'm giving it, which is very bad. And this is the problem that Gabe was mentioning about selecting the entire thing. You may hear me a little less because I am actually on top of the mic for a second here. With the MetaHuman selected on the blueprint, all the way to the top, we have a live link subject. And the only live link subject that I currently have is my camera. And once I select it and then click on use live link, I will now have full control of my MetaHuman. And you can see that this is actually pretty good. I'm going to do a bit of performance here looking at the camera. We probably want the MetaHuman to actually...
You're a VTuber.
I'm a VTuber now. Imagine, this is me in 2 years, a non-real me giving class because AI will take over. Let me get somewhere along those lines. There we go. And now that looks a bit better, right? And you can see how the eyes, very, very good. The mouth is very good. And again, the better your setup, the better everything is going to be. Now, I'm probably not directly looking at the camera. I can't tell because if I look away to look at the camera, I don't know. But to get the MetaHuman to look directly into the camera, that would be obviously a better setup that you will need to keep in mind. Now, all of these is live link. This is being streamed live to the MetaHuman. This is the contraposition of the process that Gabe showcased, where he used a performance capture and then processed it into a MetaHuman, and then that exports a animation sequence. For this one, we would need to use the good old and extremely not great to use and have fun with little take recorder here. And then we freeze frame and I become bold for whatever reason. So now we need to use this guy. Now, the problem with this guy is that it is extremely outdated. It's not comfortable to use. It has a whole bunch of buttons that it shouldn't really have. So we will need to drag our MetaHuman here and then create a recording of it. So now I am recording this performance. And again, you can see how the body is moving, but the neck is doing the jiggly. And we'll need to fix that by doing a Frankenstein or doing something else. So we stop now. And this created what we called a new take. So we're going to click on this button and review the last recording. And what it does by default is it creates... Oh, it didn't in this case. Awesome. Oh, no, it did. There we go. That's the problem. So is it or is it not? Oh, it's not. Awesome. So I set it up in a way that it's not creating a spawnable. It's actually possessing the current MetaHuman, which is down here, record to possessable. I set it up that way so it doesn't create a copy of this MetaHuman. So now it created all this. And we have all of that. The one thing that we don't get with this one, which is a problem, is we don't get audio, which we do with the process that Gabe actually showcased. But we don't get audio in here. There might be something coming down the line from Epic, but I wouldn't count on it. So we don't get audio. What we get is simply head and animation, facial animation. And the other problem that we get when we do this thing is that for whatever reason, the animation is all being recorded in the body. That means that even the facial, I can delete the face, and you'll see what I mean. First, we need to unlock. I can delete the face. And even with the face deleted, there is facial animation. Now, this was a great question I had when I first started dealing with this, and I could not for the life of me understand what the heck was going on. Now, the cool thing about this is that we can then go ahead and find this animation, which is right here. And with the thumbnail that, again, this has been happening since Unreal was created. Thumbnails are just completely insane. That's the thumbnail for a chess piece that I was working on in cloth. Has nothing to do with this. But if we open it up, we'll see that this is, again, for whatever reason, being applied to a chess piece of a MetaHuman. Who knows what's happening here? And we clearly can't see facial bones. We effectively see our neck movement. And we effectively see that there are actual curves here for all of the facial expressions. And I wonder, and I ask Epic, why? There's no bones here for this. So how do we clean these up? Or how do we actually find our facial expressions? For this one, what we need to do is duplicate it first and make sure that this one is going to be MH face performance. And what we need to do at this point with the face performance is right-click on it and actually replace the skeleton for a MetaHuman face archetype skeleton. And again, this is another thing that Gabe already mentioned. Why is there 3 of these named the exact same? That's because Epic has been doing not great things lately, sadly. Gabe is totally correct with that. And if I open this, we now get the actual thing that we want. We still have a problem, and this problem was a problem that Gabe actually brought up. And it is that in this one, which is the facial expression, we don't really want anything other than the facial expression. So it comes down, might not be the cleanest, again, to actually finding these little bones down here, which I think are these guys, and then head transitions, and right-click on them and delete them. Just simply going to delete all the head transitions. I'm going to delete this. Let's check. We still have a neck, which is good. We're going to delete this, which I don't even know what it is, but we're just going to delete it. And now it comes down to finding where those curves are that are actually not expressions, and I found them. Head, pitch, roll, and yaw. 1, 2, 3, right-click, delete. Once we do that, we have now cleaned up this animation to be only and exclusively facial animation. Would be better if I disable the bones, right? So we can see something. There we go. We have now officially cleaned up that, and we only get facial, which is exactly what we want. Now, let's go back to our other animation where we have the neck and we have all of those bones. Now here we want to see the bones, and this is the body performance, right? And this is where we need to do the opposite. We would at this point delete all of these. Honestly, we don't really need to delete these because these are not going to be applied anyways, because there's no bones here. So they are not going to be applied. As soon as we apply these to the body, just nothing will happen. What we do need to do is find the curve that is making the body move around. And that one is the one we need to eliminate. In this case, it's not any of these 3. It is actually a different curve that has a particular name. And we can very quickly verify which one it is because we don't see changes. There are no changes here. So it's very easy to figure out. So it's one of these. So we have all of the expressions here. And then we have the head, pitch, roll, and yaw. Now we want to keep these ones because if I delete this, that's interesting, right? If I delete those, which were the ones that were giving movement to the other MetaHuman, we still have movement, which is very, very strange if you ask me. So now we still need to go into the hunt of those actual ones that are actually moving our MetaHuman. And if they're not the expression ones, I think that's interesting. And now is where I run myself into a corner because I did find these somewhere along the lines of my past me. If I click this is neck 2.
Been there.
Here's the thing. Here's what's happening here. So what's happening here is that even though this is in the actual MetaHuman body here, in the actual MetaHuman base body, these curves were recorded on the face. So it's like a mix and match of misunderstanding of what the heck is going on. So to fix all of these and to make our life easier is we're going to leave that original as it was. We are going to close Sec Recorder. Remember, we cleaned the MH face performance. And this one's going to be body performance. Performance, I can type. There we go. And I'm going to disable the live link so we don't have that anymore. And we're not going to worry right now about the texturing because that is Mr. Unreal saying, hey, you don't have enough textures or you don't have enough memory. So we're going to open up our sequencer. And what we'll do with this guy is we're going to bring it into sequencer. And we're going to cloth here in a second. I know I'm running on this, but since we were piggybacking from the previous subject, I think this might be better to do now. So what we can do in the face is call for, first call for animation and face performance. This is the one we just did. We can confirm that it works. But what we want to do is in the body, hunt for body performance. And that will give us absolutely nothing right now. And this is because I believe that this guy is active. If I disable this, do we get movement? We still get facial movement. And this is where everything becomes very, very strange with MetaHumans in regards of take recorder to record these kind of animations. So what we'll do is with this one, with the body, we're going to once again replace the skeleton for the MetaHuman. And I do believe they have a base mesh. There we go, base skeletal mesh. We're going to replace the skeleton for that one on that animation. And hopefully now that it looks like this, we won't have the issue we just had a second ago. So we're going to delete this just to be safe. We're going to delete it completely. We're going to bring the animation again. So MH, body performance. And now we don't have it onto this MetaHuman because the skeletons are all different, because that's what Epic did it to us.
Franco, you want to try turning off the option in
the compatibles? Yes.
No. Go to the MetaHuman common face, open the animation blueprint, and turn off the head movement. That should clear it up.
Okay, so MetaHuman.
Because the actual issue is the same issue that I was talking about, is that now they actually make it possible, but kind of not truly possible. So it's like they left it on, but broken. But you can turn it off if you want.
I was able to do this prior to this, so I am not sure why are we now having issues with this, because there was no update to the engine as far as I know. So I was able to bring in the animation correctly. I think that was the problem. There was a performance, maybe? We don't want the face performance. What happens if we do bring this one? The same problem. I don't want that one. I want the one that we just created, Unreal. I'm going to go here. This is the one I want. Are you not going to let me? So we're going to replace the skeleton once again. Maybe this one. Maybe this one will work. Let's have faith. Oh, no, that's the old one. That's the broken one. Let's see. Are you going to let me use that one? Performance. No, nothing. All right. We're going to do the correct way then. We're just going to have to find whatever skeleton this guy is using. We're going to go into it. We're going to go into the body. We're going to go and click on the body. We're going to figure out what this is. And of course, it is the same exact one that I'm using. MetaHuman base skeleton. We're just going to find it. And we're just going to have to then go ahead and lock this one. And now find, sorry about this, guys. This is supposed to work. It's just that Unreal is so badly organized lately for whatever reason. So replace skeleton. And this one is MetaHuman _ base _ scale. And we need to figure out which one it is. This one. Let's see. Are you going to work now? So if we come here, MetaHuman. Body. Hey, are you going to work? No, you're still not going to work. All right. So I have this on a video in my YouTube channel where it works. For whatever reason now, it just doesn't want to work. But this worked before. It is no longer working.
I think you have it set to inactive.
No, this is the face. The body right here is correct. It's just, for whatever reason, it's doing facial animation where I changed the actual skeleton and it shouldn't have any more facial animation. But the thing is, that all the way to the bottom, there was like a little guy here that I was deleting on the video, and I can't find it anymore. But we're not going to delve more into this because it is a waste of time. So we're going to throw this over the window, and we are going to say that there's a YouTube video on my channel that explains how to do this, and they possibly broke it again, or I forgot a step. So what's the problem with MetaHumans beyond that, and that they broke it, is that we don't have clothing for them. So we don't have abilities to do something like this, where we get a MetaHuman that has clothing. We also can do sculpting nowadays. And again, there's another video on my channel that lets us do sculpting in Blender. It's a bit limited, and we need to be worried about the normal mapping or the normals of the actual geometry. If we go too extreme, we're going to break it. But we can get away with doing things like this, which are pretty fun. This is a MetaHuman. This is also a MetaHuman. And then we can have a lot of fun and create things like this, where we get a suit from Sketchfab or something like that, and we get to adapt it to a MetaHuman. We also have the ability to create a piece of clothing that adapts to a MetaHuman, and then if we change the proportions even drastically like this guy, we are going to still get that clothing adapted to it. So what we did here, and what I did and what I'll show here in a second, is I actually grabbed a character from Fab, and I extracted a piece of that character. So I can now make this into an actual piece of clothing. So we'll do that process really quick. I don't think I will be making the entire process because I'm not going to be that fast. But essentially, step one is sending any combined skeletal mesh of a MetaHuman into the 0 of my scene. Step two, sending my piece of clothing into the 0 of the scene, and then sculpting anything or modifying anything that I want to modify to make sure that things like this don't happen. Now, things like this not happening are going to depend on us if we either sculpt it or use a method of masking that the MetaHuman wardrobes come with, or if we use a method of masking in the actual material of our characters. The masking with the wardrobe is going to be destructive, and it's going to delete geometry. And the masking through the material, it's going to be on the material, so we can go back to showcasing anything. So how would we go about fixing this? If we want to sculpt it, we can easily go into the modeling tools. We could extract this into Blender and use the modeling tools in Blender, which are far, far better than Unreal ones. And we can go to the form vertex sculpt, and we are simply going to now start very gently pushing this in or out. You can see how this is extremely annoying, and this is not the best set of tools that Unreal has. Obviously, knowing the hotkeys for all of these controls is going to make your life much, much easier than what I am doing right now. But essentially, the idea is that if you want your character to have their skin exposed at some point, you will need to be very wary of what you do with your clothing and your sculpting. Obviously, we don't have symmetry on, so we will need to do this on both sides. And you can start seeing how this can be a bit annoying of dealing with, but if we fix it once, we will fix it for every single MetaHuman. So once we fixed all of that, and we're making sure that this is set up on the 0 of the scene and both match 0 values on both location and 1 value on the scale, if we have moved it up or down because we need it for a shorter or taller MetaHuman, we need to make sure that we bake these values to 0. How do we bake those values to 0? We need to make sure that the pivot is at 0. So we would go into Xform here in the modeling tools, edit pivot, world origin. And that would make it so now it's going to be center at 0 as soon as I hit accept. I'm not going to do it because it's going to break the mesh. So we're going to keep it at that. If we do the scale, if we had to make it a bit bigger because our base MetaHuman was a bit bigger, we need to go into bake transform and make sure that bake full scale is enabled as we hit accept. Same thing happens with rotation. Strongly recommend that you don't rotate anything, though. Now that we have this, and this is a static mesh, we need to go ahead and find it. And we need to, first I'm going to make a duplicate because I want to work on a new folder so we don't go crazy here, because I've done this several times now. We need to find it. And what we need to do is actually convert it into a skeletal mesh. As we open the convert to skeletal mesh, we need to make sure that in the creation tab, we're going for use existing skeletal mesh, because we're going to tell it to use this guy back here, which is the guy we used for the transferring of this asset. So we're going to convert. It's going to spit out this. And as we open it, we'll see that it has the actual correct bone structure of a MetaHuman, and it has it in here. But there's one missing step. There's no skinning. There's no white painting. So what we need to do is in 5.5 and forwards, and we're working 5.6, so it really doesn't apply to any other version. We are going to go into edit weights here in the skinning tools of the edit tools. And all the way down here, we get transfer weights. And once again, we are going to find our full body, which is the name of my combined mesh. It's going to showcase a representation of them. If we want, down here in the transform preview source offset, We can just go ahead and move it, and we see that it is actually matching literally. We're going to click transfer weights, and we're going to click accept. That preview is going to disappear, but now we get actual skinning in our clothing of our MetaHuman, new piece of clothing. We can talk about how this shouldn't be bending and how we need to work now in the skinning ourselves. This is a first step for a weight transfer that will do all the work for us automatically without us having to do anything. So this is a first step, but don't get it as your final. Obviously, it does a very, very, very good job, but it doesn't mean that we won't need to fix a couple of things. So now that we have this, we got to go and create something new, which is called a cloth assets. Now, these have been around for a while, but they have not been around in the new setup. So we're going to do CA Viking Chest 02. That should change the name of the, okay, it didn't, but it doesn't matter. We're going to open this one, and the problem is that we find 27 nodes. The good thing is that if we are not going to be doing any simulation on the chess piece, which we will not, in this case, because it's a rigid piece, delete everything. We're just going to drag and drop this one, and I think I'm going to find a problem here. From the node of the reference, we need to go into skeletal mesh import node, and nothing still. And once we have it imported, all we need to do is go into an asset terminal. And that's it. Realistically, that's it. Because we're not going to be applying any sim to this. We just want to import the mesh, turn it into a cloth collection, and get it into an asset terminal. That's all we need to do. This is the structure that we need. 3 nodes compared to the 27 that we had before. No problems here. I thought we were going to face a problem. We didn't for whatever reason. Oh, because I fixed this myself. If you see that during this cloth here, the materials are incorrect, that is because when I extracted this guy from here, it came in with the skin material, with the beard material, with the little feathers here material, with the axe material, with the shield material. All of those came in to the chest, even though the chest uses only one material. So what you need to do is in this static mesh, you need to make sure that go into attributes, and then in edit materials, you need to make sure that there's only one material, and then that is the correct one. That will make it so the cloth asset does not freak out, because it tends to freak out a lot. Once the cloth asset was created, we need to go and create the new asset. This was not existing before 5.6. This is called outfit asset, Viking Chest 02. And once this select an outfit asset template shows up, we need to go into resizable outfit. Once we have this guy on, we're going to save it first. And in this one, we're going to do 2 things. First, in the evaluated data flow graph, we're going to switch it to manual so we can click and ask it to evaluate instead of it evaluating every single time, which is going to save us time. We're going to enable the variable overrides here and add 1 to the array. This graph, we don't touch. We only touch these 2 things. The source asset, which is going to be the Viking chest we just created, and the source body parts, which is going to be the full body combined mesh that we use to create this Viking chest. And we are going to evaluate. This takes a little bit of time, less than a minute, much less than 30 seconds probably, but it takes a little bit of time. If you do it without this manual, it's going to evaluate once for this one and then once for this one, which wastes a little bit of time, and you just sit here looking at this instead of having everything going on. There we go. So we should be seeing, perfect, our outfit here. Again, we do nothing here. We're not going to be doing nothing on this particular one because we don't need to do anything. We're going to save it. And we are going to now go into our final asset, which is called a MetaHuman wardrobe item. We're going to leave this as MW for MetaHuman wardrobe and Viking Chest 02. Once we have it, we open it up. And in the principal asset, we now feed it, not the cloth asset, but the actual OA, the outfit asset that we created. In the pipeline, we need to twirl it down and go into MetaHuman outfit pipeline. In the new little pipeline that shows up, we need to twirl down again and go into editor pipeline, MetaHuman outfit editor pipeline. And here in the editor pipeline outfit is where we can enable the mask that will delete the geometry of the MetaHuman under the chess piece in this particular case. Now, how do we know which parts of the MetaHuman we want to hide? Well, that's a very good question. By default, Unreal comes with this one. This mask, what it does is it showcases the MetaHuman UV painted in black and white. But in black, it's painting the chest piece and parts of the sleeves and the top of the legs, because this is the mask they use for that default shirt, the white shirt and the white pants that they have in MetaHuman. Now, if we use this mask for our MetaHuman here, we are going to be chopping off the top of the legs, which we don't want to do. So there's a very neat trick that my friend Gabriel Paiva, present here, showed me that is extremely cool, and we are going to be using it right here, right now. We're going to duplicate the MetaHuman that we were using. We are going to go ahead and in our assets folder or anywhere really are going to create a material, which I have it already, which is called MH Body Mask Painter. And this material is just simply a material with a texture sample on the base color. That's all it is. What I will do is I'll find that texture. I'm going to make a duplicate. And we're going to call this chest or a Viking chest body mask. I'm going to bring it on, and I'm going to replace the previous one. Again, this material is just a texture sample feeding into the base color. That's all it is. And what I'll do now is on that copy that I just used, I will assign this body mask. And I have the ability now going into the new mode that I learned its existence. I think it was Mesh Paint. Yes. We go into Mesh Paint. We go into Textures. And now if we have this one selected, we switch to Paint. And we have the ability to paint black or white in the body, where black is going to be disappearing from our MetaHuman once we insert that into our wardrobe. So what I'll do is, with the strength on 1, I'm going to paint this part, which is I 100% know that this part will need to be gone in my MetaHuman as I create the mask. And roughly, right? You will take your time to do this. But in this case, I would say something like this is good enough. This is going to cut on the polygons. So if you see something like this, don't worry. It's just going to chop the polygons off. So it's going to find its average itself. And we probably don't want to be doing this. Probably want to keep all of these white. And half the cheek one black, and some of these one black. Now, the problem with painting like this is that you may be painting on top of some UV seams that you're not seeing. When I overextended and I went over the waist or maybe on the edges here, that is because I am going over the actual texture here. And you see how maybe my brush was touching the edge of the feet or something like that. So we're going to leave it like that. We're going to see how we go. And as soon as we paint, this already updates the texture itself. If we want, we can click save up here. We didn't even have to click save because I opened the texture and I save it itself. You can see that now if I just paint here, it's going to ask for a save again. I'm going to go back, no save. And now that we've done that, we can go back into our selection mode. We're going to go into our new folder, Viking chest 02, and in the body hidden face map, for whatever reason it says face map. By the way, you notice that the face is all broken. We don't care. This only applies to the body. It ignores the face completely. We are going to go for Viking chest, hopefully body mask, save, and now we're free to go into this MetaHuman, which is full body. So I know that this is this guy. We're just going to use him as a reference, but again, we're going to be playing with the scale. It applies to any MetaHuman, but I want to showcase that it works with the first one that we used, and then it applies to any other. We're going to first remove the rig. Actually, we didn't need to remove the rig because, we did, because we're going to be changing the body. We actually did. We're going to go into hair and clothing, and all the way down, you can see that I already have a couple of these here. We are going to now literally drag and drop. Let me find it again. New folder. We're going to go into the clothing, and we're going to add our Viking torso. As we add that, the thumbnails are broken. At some point, they will update. At some point, maybe. And there we go. We have this. Now, this is all great, and this works for the one that we were using. So you're like, well, Franco, but that's pretty obvious. But the magic is that it actually adapts to any changes that we make to the body. So even if we go super crazy with the values here, it will actually adapt to any MetaHuman. Thus, what we did was creating a parametric piece of clothing that will adapt to any MetaHuman and even adapt to things like this. Let me, we broke you completely. Can I, let's see. I wonder if I can get back. Oh, actually, I just changed this MetaHuman, right? This MetaHuman was previously exported. I'm just going to simply, instead of trying to get back whatever that MetaHuman was, I'm going to go to conform from template. And I'm going to find his body. And his body without a neck, not this one, and conform. And now he's back to being the MetaHuman that we opened because it's conformed back to his actual body. This was the original. But what I want to showcase is, I'm going to disable the clothing on him. The following. If I go to MetaHumans and then open this ridiculous guy, if the topology of the clothing permits, it will also adapt to shapes like this that were deformed or sculpted. So let me show you that it will, in fact, adapt to this one too. Sheesh, every time. This gets me every time. Tell you what, stay locked. Thank you. And ours is in new folder. We drag and drop. We open up, double click. And again, if the geometry permits, we will get things like this. But look at this. It actually adapted itself to the little wings that this guy has on the back. So it's very, very powerful. It's actually very, very powerful. It adapted to the way his waist is, which is very strange. So create one uniform, have it work for every single one of your MetaHumans. Now, we did create a mask, which would fix, in theory, this issue. And we're not seeing that mask here. That is because sometimes this works in the mask. Sometimes it does not not in the mask, in the viewport here in the MetaHuman creator. If I were to assemble this MetaHuman, that mask that we just used is going to be applying to him. So I am going to take the risk and actually assemble him. I'm going to call it Alien 3 so we don't step on the previous one, and I'm going to assemble it. Now, this will take a bit of time, so we'll use this time, since we're still 12 minutes away, to open it up for questions while this cooks my computer and my MetaHuman. Oh, my camera's not going to open because LiveLink has it. So no cameras, but I can I can hear you guys.
Hey, Franco, I do have a question that other people may have, and I know they have stumbled upon this, is the combined body mesh that you are using from the human creator.
Yep.
So you showed that the neck, head, and the body is combined, but you also showed the one without the head. So where can they get that from? Or can they just download download the meshes that come with the default tracksuit project?
Sorry, the Unreal, the engine crashed, so I was trying to look at it again. What's the question? How do we get the combined or the separate pieces?
Yeah, the combined and the separate pieces. Is it how do we get that, or can they use the pre-combined meshes that are available for free on FAB as well?
100%, yes. They give you those precisely for this purpose, for the purpose of you creating pieces of clothing. They give you those to do this exact thing. If you want to first create a MetaHuman and then try and adapt one piece of clothing to that specific MetaHuman, you can in MetaHuman Creator. Let me share my screen again because we are back from the crash. What we can do is opening our MetaHumans and going back to our guy here, which was this guy. You can export from the MetaHuman Creator if you haven't yet assembled your MetaHuman. If you assemble your MetaHuman within the folder of your MetaHuman, you're going to find the separate body and face. But if you haven't, MetaHuman character, export face skeletal mesh, body skeletal mesh, or combined skeletal mesh. To do any clothing, you are going to need the combined one because the neck and the head and the neck 1 and neck 2, they all have actual geometry, actual weight painting that you need for your clothing. So it crashed. So the assemble probably doesn't like me having a whole bunch of things enabled by in Chrome and such, because another of the things that they didn't do very well is that the assemble of the MetaHuman Creator needs a lot of RAM. I actually had to get more RAM for it to work, but I will show you what it does when you assemble it with that mask that we created. What it does is something like this. It's going to export it as a skeletal mesh. And it's going to actually chop the geometry of the MetaHuman under the cloth. It's very important to understand that this is actual chopped geometry. It is not masked. It is gone. It is no longer there. So if you want your MetaHuman to only have one piece of clothing, that this would be fine for optimization. But if it's going to change, keep in mind that you already chopped the geometry. There's no turning back. So if your MetaHuman is going to switch clothing, you either need two versions of that MetaHuman, one with each clothing and different chopped geometries, or you can use masking, body masking on the MetaHuman rather than actual geometry chopping in the creator. Let me get this back to its original state. And there we go. So that is how you would be doing clothing for MetaHumans. This then you can, it exports a skeletal mesh where you can then apply physics if you wanted to. That's another subject because it's a very, very long subject. So we have David here asking, I assume this workflow also applies to scanned wardrobe. If you mean scanned as in photogrammetry from actual geometry from the world, it depends on the topology of that, but it will work. Yes, 100%. It should work. And then about the masks, e.g., for example, Paris. I don't know what Paris is. It's good to know about the masks. Yeah, the masks are insanely powerful. I think I have a mask running around somewhere. Let me get the other guy in.
Franco, the other issue, of course, is like you said, from Sketchfab or from a character that you download from Fab, and then you can just use the clothing from like the Viking character you showed. So you remove the head, you remove the trousers and other things, and you just use the chest piece.
Exactly.
But what happens if the character or the clothing that you brought in is not in the same size or pose as your MetaHuman? So the MetaHuman A pose is different from your standard A pose. So that is a question that a lot of people are stumbling on.
This is the mask that we previously painted, actually, the Viking mask that we previously painted. So this would be the process with it as a mask. We will need to make sure that we're painting it correctly so we don't get this kind of issues. But these are great. So in regards to the question that you're asking, there's several ways. Gabe actually showcased the last time we talked how to match the posing of another skeleton to the posing of a MetaHuman. I could never get that working. So someone got the answer there in the chat, control rig. I essentially create a modular rig for the character that does not contain the same pose as a MetaHuman and pose it manually. Once you pose it manually, you can use the create a, where is it? Tools, no, it's not here. One of these is up here, we do have one button. Is it not here? No, it's not here. It's, oh my God, I lost a button. Is it here in blueprints? No. Oh my God, I lost a button. Oh, it probably won't do it with a blueprint. That's why I lost a button. So essentially what you do, let me see, you're probably gonna let me do it. Yes, there we go. This is a static mesh, so it's redundant, but what you can do is, yes, exactly, actor. Convert static mesh to static mesh. So what you would do is you would pose a character, and then you would bake an animation. So let's do it, for example, I think this guy, I had to do it for Superman here. So I downloaded this from, I think, Sketchfab. So what I did was I grabbed this guy. First, I chopped his head off. It's important because I don't need it. So I grabbed him and I sent him into a sequencer. I have the sequencer here. I don't. Can create a new sequencer. It don't matter. So I created a sequencer and I brought him in. Big question. Do I have a control rig for you? Super. I don't. So not control rig for you. I think this is the no, this is the final version. So this wouldn't work. This is the guy that I need. Yeah. There we go. That is not in the MetaHuman pose, right? Clearly not in the MetaHuman pose. I'm gonna send this guy to a 0. Sadly, there's other issues with this guy. In this case, the import had a huge problem because it doesn't actually have the pivot point on the center. So I had to kind of manually get a MetaHuman running here. But then what you would do is just simply add this guy here, and then through its FK, because you can't create a control rig for something that's, or you can if you want to, but if not, through the FK. So you'll need to bake to control rig FK. And then you compose it whatever way you want. So you will fix, I don't know, something like this. Do something like this. Let's say this is closer to what a MetaHuman is. Once you have that done, select them, and we can do actor convert to static mesh. And if we convert this guy, I'm gonna call it test, into static mesh, it now has the pose that I exported. And now that it is,
so we don't have to bake the pose, bake the animation as a single frame pose anymore?
you do if you have a control rig. If you don't, you don't. Because if you have a control rig, what happens is that the rig is going to actually be baked as geometry. So you'll need to do that before you do something like this. I don't think it baked the bones here. No, I can't see the bones. But the controls of a control rig are actual geometry that gets baked within your static mesh, which you don't want. And at this point, we can do the same thing we did before. We are going to be, oops, not bake transform. We want to edit pivot. We want to call it to the bottom. Now we fix the pivot. Now we can send it to a 0. Now we can get our full body from here and bring in, we could even use this guy. This is actually medium normal weight body from, the previous Unreal Engine version. Obviously, at this point is where we would need to actually match it correctly, but say we matched it correctly. And here's where I'm going to start. All right, I'm going to scale a little bit. I'm going to push it forwards a little bit. We would need to chop the head off and all of that. I'm going to scale it just outwards a bit more. And let's say, I don't know, I'm happy with something like this because I know that I will be deleting the entire body of the MetaHuman, which is exactly what I did with our boy Soups here. These are the hands of a MetaHuman. This is the head of a MetaHuman. He has a mask on the neck. You can see that the neck is actually chopped because there's masking. I didn't use the masking I used the masking on the body, but I didn't use the masking on the neck because you have to do that outside. The cloth cannot mask the neck. I have some issues still here. Look at this. That I could fix very, very quickly here with just sculpting in the modeling tools. So that wouldn't be a problem. But this is a full body mask because he doesn't have any MetaHuman clothing at all. If we take away the skeletal mesh, there's nothing, just the hands. And then the neck is being masked through materials. So yes, posing it manually, creating a static mesh from it, then creating the skeletal mesh, then doing the weight painting, etc., etc., etc. So that's it.
So when
Yes.
you bake the in the MetaHuman Creator, the combined mesh,
Yep.
when you create a combined mesh, it creates the skeleton as well.
No, it does. Yeah, it spits out this. Let me show you what it does. Full. There we go. It spits out this. It's a skeletal mesh that is using the skeleton of whatever MetaHuman you were
And that is
creating.
what we are using for weight painting.
Exactly. This is what then we use for the weight painting and the weight transfer. Yes, 100%.
One thing
Perfect.
you might want to warn them is that if you happen to have a wardrobe assigned to the MetaHuman and you
Oh,
create
yeah.
it will be cut with the mask.
Yeah.
So you gotta make sure that you take off the clothing and then you export the combine so you get like a full body combine. Because if you don't, you're gonna have like a chopped combine.
Yes.
But
That is
in
correct.
the MetaHuman Creator, you can only take off the top singlet.
No.
correct?
He's talking about avoiding
Or the actual clothes.
Yes, the actual wardrobe. Let me show you. I can show that very quickly. MetaHumans. Let's go into this guy again. So he's saying if you have any wardrobes assigned and those wardrobes actually have the masking, so we can go here into hair and apply, for example, it survived somehow. It survived the crash. There we go. So this one, if I were to now export the combined test 2, please open the folder where you exported it. No, thank you for nothing. Full body. See what happened? It actually exported it with a mask that we created applied to it. This doesn't help us at all. That is because the wardrobe that we used actually has that mask. So it is essentially chopping the MetaHuman, even though it doesn't. And look at that. Did you see what just happened? I am switching the outfit preview in MetaHuman Creator, and that is changing whether the skeleton has or doesn't the geometry. This is an insane bug. Yeah, that has already been, I reported this already because it's insane. And look at this. I can even go further. Look at this one, Gabe. This one is gonna.
That was why I thought I was crazy thinking that was not a cut but a mask. Like I was completely confused before by that thing.
You're gonna love this one. You're gonna absolutely love this one. It's chopped, right? It's absolutely chopped. This is test 2 underscore test 2, right? It's chopped. We can see that it's chopped. We can see that if we go into wireframe, there's no geometry, nothing. Test 2 underscore 2. If I were to now export without the cloth, look at this. It came back. The geometry came back.
So it's updating in real time?
Why? Yes, but why?
But
it's ridiculous. It's an exported asset.
It's a great bug, but it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It's updating in real time, chopping or not chopping my export combine mesh that I already exported. How is it altering an already? I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is that it is actually re-exporting it. But if I go and now export it, this one's even more fun. Export combine mesh. Say it is replacing it because it has that specific name. I'm gonna name it whatever. And now we get as whatever, right? We have it here. We have this one, test number 2. We have as whatever. And then we have this guy here. Look at that. It's actually replacing the exports. It's
at the same time.
Insane at the same time. And look at this. Look at this. It goes even further. If I move one of them, because I tested this, I was like, this cannot be real. I'm going to put it on another folder because that makes sense. Nope. It goes into the other folder too. It's mind-blowing. I don't know what connection it's making to these, but it is doing it. Clearly, it is.
So the static mesh, geometry mesh, it is still using from the MetaHuman creator.
I don't know why. Now
Because
that's an
what
interesting
is
question.
handled.
What happens if I actually change the body? Are these going to change?
Nope.
Oh, they didn't change. Would you look at that? Okay, but what happens
Okay.
if now that I change the body, I apply clothing? Will them change?
So it's the mask that is being applied. And
Yes.
the face gets cut off as well.
Yeah, but that's because of the UV of the body and the way the mask is being applied. It doesn't matter because we're not using the face anyways. For the clothing. But this is insane.
Wow.
This is
Now,
actually
When you change the
insane.
body shape, it does not update it. It's only
It does not.
clothing mask.
Only the cloth masking for
now
whatever
if
reason.
you look down in your houses, you're not going to have pants on either.
Yeah, exactly. It takes your own pants off in your house. When I found this, I was honestly, this was one of the worst bugs I've ever seen. I was mind blown when I found it. But 5.6, which should have been 5.7, it is what it is. This is what we have. That's the
I think
cute.
they should have gone 5.4 and then waited till they were ready with 5.7. 5.6 is basically everything wrong in 5.5, partially fixed. Is that
and
fair?
and everything wrong with the new metahumans. That's pretty much what it is. All right, so that was it from me. We now know how to apply new metahuman clothing and apply it to one metahuman to then create the outfit asset, to then create the wardrobe, to then create masks if we wanted to, and be able to use it as a parametric clothing piece that will apply to every single one of the metahumans that we create in MetaHuman Creator 5.6, obviously forwards. It does not work in 5.5.
Yep.
Franco, amuse me. Go to MetaHuman common.
Yes.
I just want to make sure that MetaHuman common open face. Open the common face. Oh no, sorry, MetaHuman common face. I'm sorry.
Common face.
All right. Open the APB face, that one.
Yes.
And now on the details, you're going to find that there are one thing that is called, I can't read from here.
Enable head movement IK, enable facial.
Yeah, enable head movement, turn it off.
Turn it off.
Apply it.
Apply.
All right, and now test that animation that you exported.
Okay.
And now it should be good. It should not be moving the neck.
All right, let's see. So you're saying that if I test it into the body, we won't have problems?
Onto the face, I know that it's not going to have problems. Into the body, I don't know.
Okay. I don't have body movement. I have neck movement at least. That's one. I think that is because we deleted the head movement on this one. And then in the face.
Test it just in the face and let's see.
Face performance. I don't have, I mean, I deleted the head movement on the face.
Export it again. Oh no, you actually got it from Take Recorder.
It was Take
Do
Recorder.
you happen to have another one?
I don't know if it's still alive.
Just in case.
It might be still alive. Yeah, it's alive. Can I tell you to bind to assign actor cloth constraints? It's the same thing, so it should work. Hey. Oh. I left the other animation running, didn't I? No, I did not. I can record one very quickly. And we can
I think
test
that that is going to fix it.
All right. So you're saying that I have this guy here. I enable live link. We're doing some testing live. See if
You're
this
going to lose
actually
your Discord camera.
camera. I'm using it here. I'm gonna stop it. Go into Unreal here. Basic trackers. Are you working? Oh no, because I created it while I was using it, so I need to start over. There we go. That trackers. Hello, it works. Live link. Use. It works. We record testing 1 2. Wow. All right, got it.
Move your neck. Oh, yeah.
I did.
It first. All right.
Yeah, and then we view it. All of these. And you're saying that I should be able to this animation run it somewhere else? No.
Yeah, like apply it in a sequencer without the body animation. Like the thing is that you need to turn off the body animation that have the same body movement.
Okay, so it's this one. Anim to test. I'm gonna name that. So you're saying that any new sequencer, I will disable this. I will create. Sure. This one. And I am going to bring this guy into it. And should I apply this to where? To the face or to the body?
Just the face, yeah.
Just the face. Anim to test.
There you go.
Okay. But
the great thing that I think that is good, because you can actually, if you know, when you get those from the MetaHuman performance, you get the ability to get or not the neck animation.
Yeah,
right?
it's better. I agree.
With the recording, you get it because, right, you don't have a say on it. But having that button inside the blueprint animator, the animation blueprint, it's best because you can keep the performance with the neck, but you can choose to not apply it here. Now, the thing is that by default, it comes on and it breaks everything because it makes the control rig, the procedural control rig that does the body animation when you move your neck, that thing is broken clearly. But the good thing is that you can get rid of it, which is, you know, what we want. It's one weird click that you need to get in. You can also expose it to cinematics, and you can get access through sequencer, and you can turn it off on the sequencer at a sequencer level if you want to.
I just found how to do it super easy a couple of days ago in an Unreal Fest video, where you can create control rigs just from one control. So what I did was,
oh yeah,
I have this control rig. I have nothing here, so I'm gonna select neck 1, neck 2, and the head. Right click on that layer of the control rig and set from selected controls. That cleans it up. Now I only have these 3 controls, and I'm gonna right click again, import animation sequence into this section, anim to test. Only selected controls. I don't think you need to enable this because there's no other controls, but sure. Load. And now I got the neck animation, the head animation, all by itself, separated from this guy down here, which is the face animation. And all combined, it works.
All right.
So I just found this literally a couple of days ago.
This is a cool trick.
This is the best way of doing this.
Yeah, and
It
then
was
you can now
the
just
only thing that I found relevant from
Unreal Fest, right? yeah.
I was like, wow, that thing is great.
Because it actually works in
There you go,
5.6.
Gabriel. You found your excitement again.
Oh yeah, that one was really good for sure.
Obviously, some issues with the skinning here on this one. You wouldn't be doing this. You probably want to fix the skinning, but it's fine.
But this is interesting because if you have arm movement or something, you can just bake those to the control rig and then export those out as an animation sequence by
Of course.
itself. and then you can have animation waiting on the sequencer if you wanted to.
Yeah.
If somebody prefers that traditional DCC workflow for animating, I mean, you can do so much. But I'm still boggled with the masking thing for the combined mesh and how it, you know, generates the mesh geometry out of like magic. This has been
That we
amazing.
don't know because that is done through the pipeline that we assign, and we don't know the black magic behind it. And we can't actually open it. If we go ahead and hunt for pipeline, I think it spits out. It's one of these. This one. Default skeletal mesh pipeline is one of them. Default outfit pipeline is one of them. If we open this, this is it. And if we open in full editor, tell me how this works, because I do not know. There's nothing here. So these are protected under C++. These are actual programming things. So
yeah, and that's the proprietary codes. So of course they're not giving us full access to it.
I guess
Yeah.
they don't want to showcase how this works. But yeah, we don't know. There's nothing here.
Yeah, that thing sounds like it's dynamic meshing. We get access to that with dynamic mesh with the what is called the, oh my god, it's a blueprint that you can actually do like modeling in real time. So that I think is what it is. But the thing that it actually applies it to like other versions of that thing is a bug. For sure.
That's insane. All right, that was it for me. Sorry, it took a bit longer than expected, and we did some troubleshooting in the middle, which I always enjoy doing. And I got to test the new thing that I just showcased at the end of it, which I am looking forward into creating a video on that one, because it's incredible, because you are now able to blend per bone directly into sequencer without having to go into an animation blueprint, since you can literally grab a control rig, select the bones that you want for one animation, and import that animation into those specific bones, instead of having to delete all the baked keyframes from the bones that you don't want, blah, 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 blending, which is a nightmare. And obviously, since it's a section of a control rig, it works on absolute, and it also works on additive. So you could even just have that additive intention on top of the pre-existing animation if you wanted to do so. I have not tried it into a layered control rig, but it should also work in a layered control rig.
Franco, I think in the animation blueprint, the post-processing one, the blending is happening per bone, and then they're running a bool system. If we did it blend by int,
I have not opened that because I have never used animation blueprints, so I don't know.
Oh, and I haven't noticed they actually turn off the blending per bone. It's not working. Like you can play with it, but it simply won't work.
Oh,
or at least it's not working as it used to. Like I was trying to actually make the head and the body. That was one of the things that I was revisiting. No, they actually, and you can actually go to the forums, and people are complaining like it's not the blend per bone where you can choose like a hierarchy and apply the. And the other thing that doesn't work anymore is animation slots. They're either broken or they're going to be fading out.
Oh yeah, because now they're moving it to that GASP system and they want the state machines to run the motion matching. Oh yeah, of course.
That's what they want. So slots are not there anymore, and the blending by bone is not there anymore.
Yay, more broken.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why, sometimes I say like, I'm not gonna be spending too many hours in these, because maybe I figure it out, and then in 6 months they're gonna be launching the next thing, and they're gonna be fixing there, and you're gonna be wondering, but then why did you release it? With the issue.
Yeah,
it's all right. It's fine.
Fantastic.
It keeps us occupied.
Yeah. So let's see if we have any questions from our viewers. doesn't look like. I think, like myself, everyone is simply blown away by what you've shown us. This is amazing. Many of us are already using Unreal, but there are newcomers to the community who are jumping straight into Unreal Engine 5.6. They're excited about MetaHuman. They want to
Poor
make
people.
the yeah, they want to make the movies and everything, and they're going to hit all these potholes. I'm not going to
Yeah.
call them roadblocks. These are potholes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or holes, And this has been absolutely amazing. And as we close out today's episode, I want to extend my deepest thanks and sincerest appreciation to both of you, Gabriel and Franco, for sharing not just your technical mastery in this aspect that you've shown us today, but your creative generosity and passion for empowering every one of the creators out there. You didn't just walk us through the MetaHuman pipeline, you gave us insights into what it means to create with care, to craft the characters that connect, and to use these tools not just for realism but for meaning. And that is more important, the authenticity, to try and bring those things. And I'm saying that because as creatives, we all have obsessive compulsive disorder. We all want
Yeah.
everything to be perfect. And and that's just reality. Look, to everyone who joined us live today, thank you so much for showing up with curiosity, creativity, and the spirit of community. It's your energy that makes this space so powerful. If this session sparked something in you, keep going, keep learning, explore our resources, take a course, build something bold, experiment. And that is what it's about. And know that Virtual Production Dojo is here to support your journey every step of the way as well. Until next time, stay inspired, stay fearless, and as always, thank you for joining us inside the dojo. Thanks, guys.